Lance, you've been at training camp a bunch, kind of watching Austin Watkins. What jumps out about him?
I would like to look at receivers in the three categories. He's really good off the line of scrimmage. He's really good at the catch point, and then he's a pretty good. He's not a super run guy after run after catch guy, but he's really competitive. When you watch the film, especially the all 22, he sits in windows very well. He uses his big body, 6'3", 220. He uses his big body to like sit in windows, and he has a tremendous catch radius. And then he's got tremendous hands. So anytime with that catch radius, anytime you get the ball around him, he seems to get it. And some guys just have the ability to get open and make catches and are kind of football savvy. And Watkins is one of those guys. Everything that you've seen in kind of in these three preseason games is something he's done in practice. He's a really good practice player. He plays hard. There's some really good competition out there, for the final spots. But Austin Watkins should be in that conversation. He's a really good player.
So let's take a look at this first clip that you chose. What do you see with Watkins here?
Well, this is his first touchdown. What he does really well is he's really good off the line of scrimmage. So when you try to press him, he's big and strong. It's hard to move him because he's so big and strong. But he's also got a little twitchiness in his step. So right here, it's just kind of, I used to call it a shuffle release, where he's going to release outside and he's going to put his left foot in the ground and drive on that slant. And as you can see, he turns this corner on the top of the screen. He turns the corner to the sideline and kind of makes him fall. And then again, really good job of showing his numbers, runs really precise routes, got great hands, always catches the ball out in front of him. Just a really good route here, really good explosion. And this is kind of the start of the preseason. This is when you saw some of the things he can do. This is a really good route right here.
Yeah, and again, you mentioned it. He turned the corner around and got him to stumble. And big target with good hands. You mentioned him being quarterback friendly a little bit earlier. This next clip, what do you see here? What jumps out about this one?
The Eagles are going to be in a 1-free, so they're going to be man under coverage, and the quarterback does a great job of using his eyes. But what Watkins does really, again, is that he uses that big body. So you can see the corner try to press him. And he doesn't have a great release, but because of his size, he's really hard to move and get off route, which corners are always trying to do in that jam, is trying to get you off route. And then he runs, really good back shoulder. He locates the ball very well. He high points if it's high. Very good at, all the catches, no matter where they are. Super competitive at the catch point. That's probably his best trait, is that he uses that big body, and when the ball is up, he gets it. And he's really competitive, and then he's always trying to run after catch. Like I said, he's not a great run after catch guy, but he's super competitive and always trying to get yards.
Yeah, and again, has developed a little bit of a chemistry with Dorian Thompson-Robinson. Earlier in the week, Thompson-Robinson was named as the QB3. Beating out Kellen Mond, who was released a little bit earlier this week. All right, again, this next clip, tell us what you see here, what you like about this.
Well, here's a great thing. So when you look at the all-22 here, so he runs a curl route again. Again, very hard to press. They don't press him here. They play a zone coverage, and this is a zone coverage where he's going to sit inside the corner and then the linebacker inside. DTR does a really good job of throwing it to the window, and Watkins does a really good job of moving to that window. So he runs his curl, he sees it, and he's got to move out towards the sideline. And that's where DTR leads him, and then he does a great job, again, plucking that ball out of the air with his hands. Just a really big target. This is a great example of that catch radius I was talking about. That big, long body at 6'3" allows him to have allows the quarterback to put it in an area, especially away from defenders, and he can go get it. So this is, again, really good route, moves to the open area. He does a really good job in zone coverages of finding those holes and then making himself really big for the quarterback and quarterback friendly.
Yeah, this one particularly, you see 3 defenders, and there's plenty of space for the quarterback to get the ball into. That's a little bit of a savvy route runner against a zone, isn't it?
What he often does too is that he'll run slants and he'll run some other routes, and he doesn't run into coverage, which a lot of young receivers do. I heard Coach Stefanski talk about the reps he got from the USFL, and he's had these game speed reps. Now, obviously, that league is not good in the NFL, but he's been working at a high speed and seeing all kinds of coverages for a while now. And you can see it in his route running. He's a very mature route runner. He understands, I think he does a really good job of understanding leverage, meaning what does the defender have to cover and what areas do it have to cover and where is the weakness. And he does a great job. And right here, this is a great job by both the quarterback and the receiver, two young guys, understanding where that weakness is. And then again, he's got huge hands. He does this all practice where he's just plucking the ball with one or two hands out of the air. Really impressive.
Yeah, the one thing is, and we've mentioned it, he's got the big prototypical, X-receiver, if you want to call him that, body where he can make those plays. This next clip, take us through what you like about this, what this shows.
Well, again, really hard to press. So you're going to see, again, Eagles are in that man coverage. The cornerback wants to reroute him to the outside, but you can see he gets a vertical release, kind of a stutter here, kind of a stop and go here. And what happens, because of his size, he uses his body very well. He kind of gets that left arm and gets it engaged, we like to say. So he gets it engaged, and then he doesn't allow the corner to push him out of bounds. And that's because of his size at 210 pounds. And then again, this is kind of just his ability to find the football at the catch point. He's got the safety coming over top. Again, the quarterback does a good job of keeping the safety in the middle of the field as long as he can, and then he throws a really, really good ball. And what you like here, another savvy move here, is he goes late with his hands. So corners like to play when the hands go to the receiver, the corner's hands go. And he does a really good job of getting his hands up late. And the corner's there, but he does just an outstanding job. And he, again, these hands he has are big hands that always seem to get the ball and pluck it right out of the air. A really good route here, and just a great fight for the ball, and really savvy route.
Yeah, and again, he's more along the lines of Donovan Peoples-Jones, not quite as big as DPJ, not quite as big as Cedric Tillman, but a big target for the quarterbacks, which that's valuable.
Knocked off route. So these big guys, you see it with Tillman, you see it with DPJ, they don't get knocked off. So if you're not a sudden twitchy guy, Amari Cooper's kind of the exception because he's twitchy too. But if you look at these like these little guys, Elijah Moore, Jakeem Grant, these guys who are sudden and twitchy, they get off the line of scrimmage by just using their athletic ability and stop and start in their suddenness in a short area. These bigger guys can use same kind of moves, but again, if they get on their route and they get the corner leaning either way, they're too big to knock off their route, and you see it all the time. So he's got really good feet, and he gets into his route, and then once he's into his route, you can't move him. He's too big.
We have one more clip. Austin Watkins trying to earn a spot on the Browns' 53-man roster. Take us through what you see in this one.
Well, again, this is going to be another really good route. He comes in. It's going to be, he comes in motion, and then he's going to run this kind of this over route, blaze route. There's a bunch of different terms for it, but basically it's a deep out route by the receiver. And again, very quarterback friendly. He goes up with one hand here, kind of reaches, and his ability to catch with one hand, two hands, is very impressive, and it's something you see every day in practice. So as a quarterback, if you put it in that area, he's going to go get it. And I think DTR and Watson and these guys who are going to throw him the ball, they're going to be very happy in the fact that they don't have to be perfect. And with these big receivers, you don't have to be perfect because they have these massive hands and these massive catch radiuses. And again, Watkins fights for the ball. He's a really great competitor. And I like him when the ball's in the air. He goes and gets it, and this is a classic example. Goes up with one hand and makes a great catch here.